Cambridge defines an anniversary as a day when we remember or celebrate something important that happened on that day in a previous year. While anniversaries are genuinely very important, with gacha games they are often expected to be industry defining. Within the gacha space, two anniversaries took place near one another and have become the center of conversation on gacha tribalism. Recently, the Zenless Zone Zero anniversary took place a few weeks after the Wuthering Waves anniversary. While there should have been a time to genuinely celebrate the successes and achievements from these two games, many have shifted to comparing the two anniversaries in an attempt to one-up each other. While you are within your right to compare the two, objectively speaking, these anniversary rewards are total dog shit, especially from the two companies these two games come from. Objectively speaking, the rewards from these two games' anniversaries are incredibly lackluster compared to what the games gone through in their first year. Both WUWA and ZZZ had many, and I mean many issues during their first year. Considering that, what the game gave the player base to reward the existing player base's loyalty to the games were pretty disappointing, especially in this era of gacha games. I am going to be reiterating this a lot, but while it is within your right to demand more from these companies, it is pretty dumb to compare the two games' anniversaries, as WUWA and ZZZ shouldn't be compared to one another. A more apt comparison should be between Wuthering Waves vs Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero vs either Punishing Grey Raven or Aether Gazer or even Honkai Impact 3rd. Comparisons should be made by two games of a similar genre. WUWA is an open world game, thus they take more resources to make, while ZZZ is an instant based game, thus not needing the same amount of resources to make. Let's make one thing clear. Open world games are not the same as instance-based games. You can't compare WUWA with PGR. The same can be said with Genshin vs ZZZ or HSR, Honkai Star Rail. These games are fundamentally different than one another, and comparisons should be made by games of a similar type. If you are going to compare game anniversaries, then we should compare WUWA's anniversary with Genshin's anniversary, and ZZZ's anniversary with PGR's anniversary. This is a more apt comparison since these games are all the same game type. For comparison's sake, let's compare the most recent anniversaries in the gacha space. I am only going to compare the total free pulls or free stuff that you get from both of the games. Rewards from events during the patch won't be taken into consideration for the purposes of this comparison. You are free to add them to your own comparison if you want. I will take them out. We shall start by comparing Genshin Impact's most recent anniversary to Wuthering Waves' most recent anniversary. Genshin Impact 2024 anniversary rewards, the most recent anniversary. Number 1, you get 1 free standard 5-star from the A Quest to Kindle Ancient Flame event. Number 2, you get 10 limited pulls from the login event, Brilliant Dawn. Number 3, you get 1600 pull currency from the mail. In total, you get a free 5-star and 20 pulls for free without doing anything other than just logging into the game. Wuthering Waves 2025 anniversary rewards, the most recent anniversary. Number 1, you get 10 limited pulls from the event Gifts of Grand Celebration. Number 2, you get 5 limited pulls and 5 standard pulls from the login event Gifts of Grand Reunion. Number 3, get 500 pull currency from the login event Gifts of Melodic Verses. In total, you get 15 limited pulls, 5 standard pulls, and 500 pull currency for free without doing anything other than just logging into the game. Now, let's compare Zenless Zone Zero's most recent anniversary to Punishing Raven's most recent anniversary. Zenless Zone Zero 2025 Anniversary Rewards. Number 1, you get 480 polls from the logging event. Surprises are on the way. Number 2, you get 10 limited polls from the event Phalum Gift. Number 3, you get 10 limited polls from the event Enormous Surprise. Number 4, you get 1 free standard 5-star character. Number 5, you get 1 free standard 5-star weapon, or W engines, what they call it. In total, you get 20 limited polls, 480 poll currency, free standard 5-star character, and 5-star weapon. For the Punishing Grey Raven 2025 Anniversary Awards, I have a slight disclaimer. PGR doesn't do anniversaries similar to Genshin, Wuwa, or ZZZ, so I'm going to detail what free stuff you get from their events, which are very easy to clear. If this invalidates my points to you, then so be it. You are welcome to that opinion. You get 1 free S-rank character, Alpha Crimson Weave, with signature weapon and cub. Number 2, you get 1 free S-rank character, number 21 Feral. Number 3, you get 1 free S-rank character, Lilith, with signature weapon and cub. In total, you get 3 S-rank characters, with 2 of them being with their signature weapon and cubs. Disclaimer again, I am leaving out the logging event from PGR since I can't find a definite amount that you get from the logging events. With the comparisons done, we can clearly see the differing viewpoints presented by the 2 game types. Due to the open world aspect of Genshin and Wuwa, their games have more to take into account, this being either different terrain physics or overworld physics, when developing their games. Thus, it kinda makes sense that they want to be more careful with their rewards. Again, it ain't enough, but I can see why they don't give way more. For PGR and Zenless Zone Zero, since these games don't have to consider that much in development, this being that all of their content takes place in one flat instance in a loading screen, they can very much afford to be more generous with their rewards. ZZZ's rewards are still not enough in my opinion. PGR, however, is pretty good considering how many characters they have. Hopefully, through these proper comparisons, we can see just how different the mindsets of these game types are. Open world games just in general, due to taking way more effort, it's fine if they don't give 100 polls or a free 5-star character. Again, it's not enough, but it's acceptable. For ZZZ, however, the rewards are pretty good for their first anniversary, but they could afford to give a lot more since their game can afford to do so. Just look at PGR. They do this in a pretty regular basis. Anniversaries are a time to celebrate and look back to the events that took place in the previous year. It's meant to celebrate the ups and downs these games have went through, and thus the reward should be a reflection of the developers' gratitude to the player base for sticking with them through these times. Let's look back objectively on Wuwa and ZZZ prior to the anniversary. These games had it rough. Both games had major issues that turned away so many players from playing their games. Yet, their existing player base still decided to stick with them through thick and thin. And yet, what they got as appreciation very much didn't live up to expectation. It is very much within the rights of the consumer to expect more from the games. And the games themselves should better reflect that, because without the player base, they wouldn't be here. Wuwa players should definitely get more than what they got considering all that they went through from 1.0 to 2.2. And ZZZ players also should get more considering what they went through from 1.0 to 2.0, with the removal of the TV system, which should have been ZZZ's signature gimmick. I support you in wanting more from these developers, but you have to go about it in the mature way. Don't unwarrantedly compare ZZZ to WUA, as these games are fundamentally different from one another. Instead, compare them to other games of a similar type. Something I do wonder, why hasn't ZZZ been compared to Honkai Impact 3rd or PGR prior to this? This is where the video ends, and I hand this discussion to all of you. What do you think of the modern gacha anniversaries and the hostile comparisons made all just to one-up or spite one another? I would very much like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all for watching my video. If you found it enjoyable, please like and subscribe for more. Thank you.